Episode 39.
BRB UK. Worse teeth, better accents.
Hello and welcome to episode 639 of BRB UK. I am a Coleman. Hi! And with me is a Tim.
A very tired Tim at the moment, but still.
Very tired Tim, very tired Coleman. But yet we press on.
Yes,
That's how much we
continue.
appreciate the listeners and
When
the
Dan
viewers of
falls,
this here podcast.
We continue.
Yes. Yes, Dan is off. Dan is away. He has work emergencies. What does that involve? I don't know. But
Stethoscopes.
yeah, I was going to say maybe there's another pandemic around the corner. And Dan's accidentally unleashed it all.
Uh-oh.
Who knows?
We let the Spanish flu out again.
Yes. Tim, it's a busy show. There is a lot to cover. There's a PlayStation State of Play. There was leaks and things happening this week. And we're all going to talk about them. But first, Tim's got a game to talk about. Tim's got an event to talk about. Coleman's got a game to talk about. So we better talk about them.
Let's do them quick.
You want to do yours first?
I'll do my game first. Let's do that.
Okay. I'll tell you what. You do your game. I'll do my game. Then you do your event.
That sounds like a plan, Coleman.
Sexy.
Sexy plan. The game that I'm going to talk about this week is one that I've just dipped my toes into, but I just wanted to kind of get it out there while it's still fresh. And that is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Tactical Takedown. All the T's. It's a game I was interested in since hearing about it was coming out. I've been playing on Steam Deck. I believe it's only available on PC. As far as I can confirm, that seems to be the case.
Is that due to early access, or is that due to
£16.75? I don't know. I think it's just out. But there was, I think, by the looks of things, it's run out. But there was an introductory price if you ordered it within a few days, and I think that ran out today or yesterday. But anyway, so it is £16.75, which, from what I've seen so far, you seem to get a reasonable amount of game for that price. I like a lot of what it is doing. I like the style of presentation, the kind of graphically, and it's kind of got it feels very much like it's taken a leaf out of the comics and sort of turned that into exactly what you'd kind of expect from it. I broadly like the gameplay, although I'll come back to that in a second. And there's like various other levels of the presentation, which is really good. I quite like the music. I wasn't quite expecting that to be as good as it is. And yeah, like from a presentation standpoint, they've done a really good job of presenting this game, and like it functionally works well and looks nice and everything. And it's got like a lot going for it. I would say it's overall good rather than great. And one of the things I think is a big negative against it is the fact that it's a kind of turn-based, not quite isometric plane, because you can swivel the level round and turn it as you can in a lot of these sort of tactic games. But it's a kind of grid-based, turn-based game, strategy game, and you are taking control of one turtle at once. And I think that's part of the thing that lets it down a bit. When I was initially playing it, and I was like, okay, this is cool, and I get to play with one turtle, then the other, and it kind of takes you through the 4 different turtles, and they have like sort of asymmetric skills. They're not exactly all the same, and they do all kind of work and function differently, and that feels quite cool. But from what I've played so far, and what I just wanted to read into it to see if that changes as it goes further in the game. But from what I understand, you never get to team up as a team. I don't know because there's not many boss battles, or there's no boss battles so far in the levels that I've played. And apparently there are boss battles later in the game. I don't know if you get to team up for those boss battles. But at the moment, you only get to play as one turtle at once. And I think that lets it down. Like, I don't know why they made that decision, basically. It seems a bit odd.
I have a question.
Yes?
Because I'm a '90s kid.
Yep.
I'm a fan of the Turtles. I know a little bit about the Heroes in a Half Shell Turtle Power.
Heroes or ninjas, Coleman?
Mm,
I mean, we're English, so they're hero turtles, not ninja turtles.
Exactly.
Because can't trust
Exactly.
them sneaky ninjas
We're proud of our British heritage, and therefore they are hero turtles.
with their
Um,
deadly nunchucks.
no, they never use nunchucks. They
No,
just have them.
no.
They just never use
Yeah.
them.
Decorative
do you-
nunchucks.
So there are 4 turtles, and they tend to work together. Is
Yeah.
there multiplayer to this? So then you can use the other tactical advantage of having more than one turtle?
No, and I'd say it doesn't necessarily lend itself well to multiplayer, but I think part of the other thing that does feel a bit like, and there are pros and cons to this, but not having the option to like choose a different turtle means that it doesn't feel as tactical in like your choice of turtle going into a level and stuff like that. Also, each turtle tends to be fighting in a particular environment. Like Leo is fighting on I nearly said underground, but subway trains basically.
Right.
And
On a tube, innit?
I think Donatello is fighting in the sewers, and Raphael's fighting on the rooftops. And each turtle has a different moveset that lends itself well to that environment. So, like for instance, Raph can kick people off rooftops, and that kind of helps you deal with bigger enemies quickly. And Donatello can sort of lay down traps that mean that and sort of control the environment. So the sewer water's poisonous, and so you can use your kind of electric trap and the poison to make it so that the enemies can't surround you without harming themselves. And then there's other sort of examples like that go across to different things. And so that would mean that, yes, it would be best to play as one particular turtle in one particular environment. But I'd like to see where it mixes up the environments and challenges you to, use a particular turtle. Or even if you like got the choice of turtle and there was a mixture of environments and you go, okay, actually that level would be better if I played as that turtle, it would still give it like a level of tactical choice that I think is absent from it. But also the turtles are very much about like fighting together as a team. And so that kind of feels
That's what
absent.
I know of
And
them.
and there's a board game that a man called Rick and I played quite a lot that this is very, very reminiscent of. It feels almost like a single player board game, which already feels a bit reductive that you're playing by yourself, but that is further reductive by the fact that you're playing as a solo turtle as well. But it feels very much like it is a version of that board game, like in video game form, except for the fact that in that you get to play as the 4 turtles, and even then, like there's a tactical element to which turtle goes first, and like which one you want to attack with first, to like do the crowd control and then kind of use the other turtles to mop people up and stuff like that. And that's sadly lacking from this formula. Like, as I said, it's got a lot going for it, and I think it's got a lot of plus points, and I enjoy playing the game, and I'll probably play it to completion eventually because it's just a good one to pick up and second screen with. But I'd really like to see where they could like flesh this out a bit more with a sequel and kind of make it so that it felt like it had a bit more tactical depth and a bit more interaction between the team of the turtles, basically.
I have another question.
Yes.
It's separate from turtles, but because I know you like your playing your handheld games while you're watching stuff on TV, so tactical games tend to prove pretty good for that.
Yes.
Have you thought about reinvesting in with that Marvel game that you were Midnight Suns on Steam Deck? Because that plays pretty well.
I do think that would be quite good on the Steam Deck. It's still a tactics game and it's still kind of turn based. It's a bit more active,
okay.
And I don't know how well that would lend itself to the slightly smaller screen. Like the one I think I'm going to double dip with, and I would have done already if it wasn't for the fact that I've played a lot of it on Switch.
XCOM.
But that's Into the Breach.
Yes,
which is probably one of my favorites of all time, I think.
Yeah,
and I think that'd be extra good on this slightly bigger and clearer screen of the Steam Deck. But it's also one that I'm like, well, I could just hold out till Switch 2 and carry on my progress, which we should mention, Switch 2 coming out today. And we're not doing any Switch 2 coverage because I think it's the first time for a long time that a new console has launched, and I don't think any of the three of us are picking up a launch.
We will potentially talk about it next week.
Oh. You little tease.
Mystery. Okay.
Mystery Machine.
So you have a game that predominantly features the 4 characters that tend to work together that only work one at a time.
Yeah.
And it's good. Sounds good.
Yeah. But it's good rather than great. And I think it's just falling short of greatness where it could have achieved greatness. Also, it would have been nice to have a few of the other characters other than the 4 turtles. I don't know if that comes into play later, but Splinter.
Johnny Cage.
And Casey.
The other one.
Jones.
Casey Jones.
Yeah.
Not Johnny Cage.
Yeah, not Johnny Cage. But like a few of the other like characters would have added a bit more to the variety as well.
Robot Donatello.
But as I said, like it sounds like I've been a bit negative on it, but I still enjoyed playing the game. Part of the reason I'm tired today is because I stayed up too late playing it last night. So that kind of bodes well for it. It's the first game in a long while that I literally played until the Steam Deck battery entirely ran out. And I was like, okay, maybe I should go to bed.
This is why I have a Steam charger on my bedside table for such an occasion.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, £16.75. That's not a price to sniff at.
It's not bad.
It's not a bad price for a licensed game that plays well.
Yeah, and I played a bit less than that as well, so I'm happier to. But I'm still good at that price. I think.
Well, I'm sorry I didn't get footage of your game, Tim. I was kind of caught short on that one. I do have footage of mine for anyone that's watching the video.
If you remember to play it.
I did remember to play it because I've been playing. I too have been playing on. Oh, your footage? No, I will play the footage. I will play the footage. Damn it, Tim!
Didn't play footage of the Foot Clan.
I was just doing my intro to this game because I was so as we spoke about when there was the Xbox Developer Conference, whatever they call that thing, Developer Direct, something like that. They went, "Hey, there is a brand new Onimusha game coming out." Ooh. And I went, "Ooh, Onimusha." I vaguely remember that being a game I liked when I was playing a couple of those on the PS2. I don't remember much about them. I just remember the third one featured old Leon the Professional. I forget his name, the actor. And I didn't like it. I felt it ruined the series. But so they went, "Hey, we're bringing out Onimusha 5." And I went, "Okay, maybe I do like those games." But to celebrate, we're going to remaster Onimusha 2. And I went, weird. Why didn't they do the first one? Turns out they already did. So I spoke about it on the show a little while ago. It was just me and the man called Rick. And we went for it. And I said I really enjoyed it. I played through it in like a week and a half. I was very much enjoying that on the Steam Deck. There were some quirks because it wasn't initially made for the Steam Deck in mind.
Right, yeah.
Onimusha 2, very much on the Steam Deck in mind. It's verified. You can also get it on PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and Nintendo Switch, using the backwards compatibility on all those consoles with their modern counterparts.
Right.
And it costs £24.99. However, I feel that is a bit too much when you look at like how much. It's very faithful in how it looks with the up-resing and stuff.
Right.
So I felt £24.99. It seems a bit pricey. Let's have a look on CD Keys. Just under £20, which I felt much more comfortable paying.
Right.
So, Onimusha 2, Samurai's Destiny, picks up after the events of the first game. You have an evil warlord who has been slain and then reanimated with powers of demons and a demon army by his side, and goes off across feudal Japan, ravaging camps and murdering people in villages and taking them over and leaving destruction in their wake. So in the first game, you take control of, and apologies, I do forget the names of characters as they have Japanese names. But you take, I know, you take control of one character, you go through, you fight, you power up character, and you win, you save the day. This one takes up after that. You play a completely different protagonist who is joined by other side characters to help them fight along the way, which is like a newer system than in the previous game, which is very good. A lot of the game takes place in similar, the same locations as the first game, but with newer locations also added. And the whole point is you're so in the traditional game, you have the kind of Resident Evil tank controls. You you move side to side and then you walk forward, and then you try to navigate a hack and slash game. Which those are not the controls for a hack and slash game.
That sounds terrible.
It's not fully hack and slash. It is meant more for the kind of the strategy of you take a stance, you strafe forward and back, and you use power ups and things, and then it's a lot of problem solving and puzzles. Because this game was meant to be either a sequel or a spin-off from Resident Evil that ended up becoming its own thing instead.
Yeah.
So that's why it has a lot of similarities to Resident Evil. Even so much as the green herbs from Resident Evil appear for health in this game. Anyway, yes. The big thing they did with the remaster of the first game was they took away the tank controls in favor of dual stick controls, which I felt kind of made the game a bit too easy than it used to be. So you'd have to crank the difficulty way up, but then that made the boss battles like infuriatingly difficult compared to the rest of the game. This one, similar problem. It has the dual sticks control support, but it also allows you to go for the original tank controls as well. However, I feel like they've done something for the game's balancing, because it doesn't feel super easy playing the game with the dual stick controls, which is great. Another improvement is in the first game, whenever you played it on Steam Deck, it did not like the cutscenes in the game, the original FMVs. So a lot of the time you would sort of get a test bar show up instead of a cutscene, and then would have to stop the game and then go look up the cutscene on YouTube and then come back to it. I messed around with a bunch of settings. I got it running. I got the cutscenes running, but then it crashed the game. So it was either, do you want to play the game or do you want to watch the cutscenes? You can only do one or the other. This time, everything works. It's verified for Steam Deck. Everything's fine. There are no issues there. Very much enjoying it. Okay. I feel there's a lot more silliness to this game than the first one as well, which is very welcome. But I'm enjoying this. I feel I'm going to do exactly the same as I did with the first one. I'm going to get all the way through this and then be ready for... I don't know if we're going straight to Onimusha 5 or if we've got 2 more remasters to come out.
Right.
But if so, I'm not too bothered about playing 3 again, but I'd definitely like to try 4, because I didn't even know that existed until until I started going back and pulling stuff to do the first game on the show. So
to be fair, I forgot this one existed, Coleman. But also that leads me. I have a question.
Yes.
Do you think that this game is only going to appeal, and this remaster particularly is only going to appeal to people that played the game originally and are looking for a bit of nostalgia, or do you think it kind of holds up as a decent game by itself by modern standards?
It's hard to say, because I did play some of the original games.
Well, I'm asking you to say it.
Well, I don't know, because I don't have that opinion. But I do feel I feel this is fun enough and there's enough improvements for you to just jump in. But I don't know if you need like some form of PS2 experience, be that or a PS1 experience, be that the Resident Evil games, of course, or maybe Devil May Cry, something along those lines where you've played a game of that age.
Yeah. Wasn't Devil May Cry also originally
meant to be a Resident Evil game?
There's a lot of games that owe their origins to Resident Evil, eh?
Yeah, and Street Fighter. Street Fighter has had a lot of spin-offs that ended up being like Final Fight. That was meant to be Street Fighter 2 and became Final Fight. Yeah, so fun times. Yeah, I like when spin-offs become new things. Assassin's Creed, Prince of Persia, it's one of those things.
Yeah.
Anyway, I recommend it if you've played Onimusha 2 before, or if you played Onimusha 1 before and want to give this a go. If you liked the look of Onimusha 5 and want to get back into the lineage and give it a try, then I'd recommend it for that. And again, if you enjoy like Resident Evil, Devil May Cry, any of the other Capcom Resident Evil plus spin-off games that became their own thing, then maybe give this one a go. And once again, a little bit cheaper on CD keys. It depends how you feel about CD keys over buying them straight off Steam, but they seem to be more reputable than some of the other sources out there where you can buy keys. G2A, we're talking about you. But I liked it. Good. Onimusha 2. I forget the subtitle. Onimusha 2, Samurai's Destiny.
Samurai Boogaloo.
Out now. It's been out for a week. Pick that up.
A whole week?
Do a thing. A whole week. A whole new week, Tim. Do you want to talk about the UK Games Expo, as you do tend to do around about this time?
By Jove, I do. Although, technically, I don't have to because I didn't actually get a press pass this year. I bought my own one.
Well, you can give us the cliff notes so we don't...
I can.
Yeah.
Part of the reason I did that was because, one, I bought my ticket a bit late, but two, I was taking part in a tournament on day one, and I figured if I'm taking part in a tournament, I can't really justify a press pass overall. But hey, but yeah, so I was actually there for all 3 days this year, which was good, except for me being there for the first day for the tournament, which I was there for a Star Wars Unlimited tournament, as you'll be happy to hear about, Coleman.
I'm so happy to hear about that.
So happy to. But yeah, like it kind of meant that as much as I was there for the 3 days, I was fully involved in that tournament for all day Friday. I kind of could have done with all 3 days for the overall event, just because like I did a lot on Saturday and Sunday, but because I'm doing a lot of groundwork and stuff for Tabletop Tuesday stuff, I didn't actually get a chance to play that many games. Like I literally played half of one game that I bought on the Saturday after the event. And other than that, I didn't really play a game. Oh, well, I did play a bit more Star Wars as well, because I got to actually meet the creators for Star Wars Unlimited, which is quite cool.
Cool.
So I met that they are very nice people. I met the two guys, John and Joel, who are the two guys heading up the upcoming set, Legends of the Force, which is the new one that's coming out soon, which everyone's quite excited for because it's got lots of Jedis and Sith and all that sort of stuff as well. And as I just talked about at the beginning of the show, they've just announced that Cal Kestis is coming to that. But it's like, because it's got Legend stuff as well, it's actually got some video game related stuff. So it's got Cal Kestis, it's got BD1, and it's got a load of characters from KOTOR as well. So I'm quite excited about the fact that HK47 is coming to the game. I think the subtitle of his card is like Die Meatbag Scum or something like that. But I also got to meet the marketing manager, Xander, who was a nice guy as well. But at different points in time, one on the Friday, one on the Saturday, one on the Sunday, in completely different circumstances, I cornered each one of them for a good 20-minute chat. But they're all really nice guys. They gave me some stuff for the charity challenge coming up as well. So I got some extra prizes to give away for that. I managed to play a game against one of the creators, against the marketing manager, Xander. And my weird janky deck that I kind of made myself was 1 point off beating him. I came very close.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so that was quite cool.
That's cool.
But yeah, it was just fun. They were doing some exclusive cards for the event as well. Like there was one that you could just get of Darth Tyrannus that they were generally giving out at the event and for entering the tournament. But then they were also selling, in a lottery system, they were selling a convention exclusive box. 5 cards, Coleman, £100.
That's insane. How many did you buy?
2. Keep that quiet. Don't tell my missus.
I won't. Your secret is safe with me. Yeah. It's not like we're live streaming and then putting this episode out later. Maybe there'll be a short released as well. Who knows?
Yeah.
I have a question about your silly Star Wars game that you love so much. Because there's many characters in the game. Do they have a Babu Frick card?
Not as yet. Although
Babu
I
Frick's
do hope
my
that's
favorite
coming.
character.
Yes, he is quite cool. I do like him.
I know that's kind of blasphemous because he comes from the Disney era, but that's my favorite character.
That's fine. There's some good Disney era cards, Star Wars characters and stuff. It's a good mix of stuff. But this is the first one where they've done actual legends, and they've said there's legends coming from the High Republic era. And we've had some video game stuff before because Iden Verso's been in the game from Battlefront. And a few other characters from that. But this is the first time that we're seeing stuff from KOTOR and stuff like that. So
cool.
There is a video game reason for me to be mentioning Star Wars at the moment because the upcoming set looks cool and it's got some characters in it that are from video game stuff as well.
Do vehicle cards? Is that a thing?
Yes. Well, the last set was called Jump to Lightspeed, and that was mainly about vehicles, basically. So there was
what
a lot
you're
of
saying
vehicles
is
in that.
we could get a Caravan of Courage card in the future.
I mean, it's possible, Coleman. I'm not saying it's
Hell
likely.
yeah.
We haven't
That
had
and a
many
Babu Frick
Ewoks
card,
yet,
I'm all
so
good.
I'm expecting one of the future sets to be like Ewoks and what's the name, Wookiees, because we haven't had too many of either yet, and we haven't had good decks of those.
Lumpy.
But like Mother Tulsin's in the new set, and there's like a whole Night Sisters thing as well that you can do as well. So yeah, I think that's going to be very cool.
That's cool.
But yeah, also shout out to a friend and someone that comes along to Tabletop Tuesday that I actually taught the game, but he did really well in the tournament. He on the Friday tournament, because there was like a top cut of each on the Saturday and Sunday. There was a tournament, and it was like 100+ people on both days, like 130 odd people. And like he got second on the first day, so he went through to the final on the Sunday, and he got top 8 in that as well. And that was a deck that he made himself, that he put together himself as well. And he got compliments on how nice a player he was from the judges as well, which was quite nice as well. So that was good. But just congratulations to him. He did really well. So nice one for that.
Well done.
But yeah, like that was really well. Tournament was really cool. The overall event generally, there was a hell of a lot to see this year. Like that was the only reason that I regretted being in the tournament, is just because I could have done with all 3 days for going around and doing stuff. There's quite a few companies, and I'll particularly focus on this just because, you know, we're a video game podcast first and foremost. But there's quite a few companies that were showing off video game, board game stuff as well, basically. So Rebellion were there showing off Sniper Elite,
Cool.
the board game that's related to that. And there's another company that's showing off their board games. I'm spacing on the company name, but they had Apex Legends, Don't Starve, and a Dying Light board game as well, which was quite cool.
Okay. Don't Starve seems like one that would lend itself well to
the minis for that were so cool as well. They were really nice as well. Like they had little plastic miniatures of the characters, and they looked really cool. That was really nice.
I was thinking just like a collectible card game, like play something simple for Don't Starve. But yeah, all right. If we're going meeples and stuff.
Yeah. And then there was another little game. It was called I think Console Wars. Spoilers, but it may be coming up for a Tabletop Tuesday in the future. And then just lots of other exciting properties. Like you get to see a lot of stuff there before it kind of comes out as well. There's stuff like Battle of Hoth that they were showing off with massive versions. And yeah, like it was just a really densely packed show. It was actually really difficult, even with the 2 days that I had on the show floor, to make it round and see everything. And I missed a few things and didn't get back to a few things. And as I said, didn't get to play any games really. But overall, the show was really good. Like it's slightly differently organized than it was in previous years. It's always been on kind of a split floor level, which is weird. And this was all on one level, even though they'd expanded it quite a lot. So yeah, that was quite good. Yeah, apparently there was supposed to be a Tesla convention there that they cancelled because Tesla ain't doing so well in the UK right now. So they had even more space than they were expecting, which is
you
quite
say that.
interesting.
I see so many of the flipping things on the road, so surely.
Just get a little sticker like, I bought this swastika before Elon Musk went crazy.
Yeah, I've seen those.
Yeah.
I don't see those so much in the UK, but I see Teslas everywhere because we're in north of London. So.
Right, yeah.
There's a fair few big houses.
Overall, UK Games Expo is definitely the kind of biggest board game expo of the year in the UK. Definitely worth going to. If you didn't go this year, I definitely advise going for a day or 2 or even 3 if you can spare that much time next year, because it's just a hell of a lot of games and a hell of a lot to see, and it was really good this year. So I recommend it.
Well, I'll go one better. If you did go to the UK Games Expo and you had a very good time and you wanted more of that in your life, really, you should probably think about heading to a certain bar in North London. We'll get to that at the end of the show.
Yeah.
Tim, let's talk some news, because we're halfway through the show and we've got at least 2 headlines that we have to talk about over everything else. So, last night, as we're recording, was the PlayStation State of Play for June 2025, and as every State of Play, I'm finding more enjoyment in watching the chat in the live stream before it goes live.
I never watch the chat.
I never watch it as it's going, as it's running. I might start doing that because I just want to. I don't know. It's the crushing disappointment of some people that really sustains me in life. And I was watching it go, Wolverine, Bloodborne remake, like the normal stuff that they throw out there. Jeff Grubbs hinted at God of War spin-off, the 2D, 3D God of War spin-off, like all this stuff just flipping up the screen. That's, I was like, none of this is going to appear. I can't wait.
Right, yes, but I do think that Wolverine is a bit weirdly absent from this at this stage, basically. Like, I can understand people being disappointed by that one, at least.
I think Wolverine's a next year game, and we're waiting till Ghost of Yoti is done.
Ghost of Yoti?
Yotai?
Yoshi.
Which one is it?
Ghost of Yoshi.
Yoshi.
Yotai.
Yeah.
Yotai. Yo.
Anyway,
yeah.
So let's go through. I've highlighted the ones that I think are I think you and me get the most kick out of.
Yeah.
On the agenda here behind the scenes, and I have pulled some clips as I tend to do. That's why I didn't get any sleep. So we'll start off with Lumen's Rise, which is a follow-up. Is it Lumines? I thought it was Lumens. Lumen
depends who you ask, but Lumines, I believe.
I don't know, but this is a follow-up from the Tetris Effect guys, which is very adamant by the style of this game. It is a very good-looking game. It's basically the original type of game, but lots of cool things happening around it to distract you while you're playing.
Yeah, I don't know
Tetris Effect.
I don't know if you know the history of the original Lumines, but basically Lumines. But basically, yeah, the creator of this, who is Enhanced Studios, basically, and they were looking to try and get the Tetris license to make a game like Tetris Effect. They didn't get the license. They then went on to make Lumines as the game they made instead. And that was so successful that eventually they got to make Tetris Effect, basically. So that's the kind of history of this. But it spawned a game that I'd say overall, I probably prefer Tetris as a game. And Tetris Effect is probably the highlight of the series for me. Like, it's the high point of the series in terms of, I think that's taken it to the next level, and it's brilliant. But I'm really glad that Lumines exists as a game, because it's one of my favourite puzzle games, possibly only beaten out by Tetris and Tetris Effect. Because I really like Lumines. I think I've bought this in more formats than most games, basically, because it's just one of them, like, oh, I'm on a handheld, I'll have Lumines again. Yeah, fine, I'll buy it. I know I'll get my money out of it. And yeah, so the existence of not only another version or a sequel of this game, with all the experience they've taken from Tetris Effect, and seemingly like one of the music artists from that as well, by the looks of things, because the title track of that seems to be the track they were playing in this. And then you add the extra level of, oh, by the way, it's playable in VR as well. I'm like, you couldn't have started on a better note for me, basically. Yeah. Like, this is brilliant.
This will be on PS5 with the optional use of PlayStation VR 2, much like they did with Tetris Effect with the PS4.
Fantastic news for me.
Yeah, so that's coming out later this year. I heard a theory that it opens with Lumen's Rise, with the licensed music on there, as a way of muting all the stream sniping going on from other channels that are rebroadcasting the stream at the same time.
Interesting.
Which I had, because I was watching it with a man called Rick, and when we get to Bond later on, he was going, why are they using the movie soundtrack for the game trailer? And I was like, I wonder if that's the same, because they're very big on stopping your copyright striking the music video, the music stuff from films. So who knows? Next up, one that they announced this along with the PlayStation 5, and this was meant to come out 2 years ago, and just seemingly got delayed indefinitely, and we finally have seen it. But Pragmata, so this is the one, if you remember the original, when they showed this off initially, it was an astronaut smashing through the sky, a screen in the sky that looked like it was the sky, and then they were out in space and we didn't know what was going on, and there was a child. And now we get a bit more of it. There's you are a spaceman. You're trying to get back to Earth. You have an android girl that's following you around, and it's kind of a shootery, hackery, slashery, puzzly. It's Capcom. Capcom are making it's. Do you know what, Tim? This is probably a Resident Evil spin-off that became its own game.
Quite possibly. That would be truthful. But like this reminded me, like partly visually, but also in the looks of gameplay, that it was a bit like BioShock Vanquish, like Big Daddy Vanquish. Like it kind of looked like that sort of thing. Like in fact that you're kind of rescuing this girl, or she's like following you around and doing stuff for you and hacking stuff and stuff like that. But then like the visual style definitely reminded me of Vanquish, although I don't know there's going to be as much rocket powered knee sliding in this basically. But yeah,
I am looking forward to this. This is coming out next year, and I will definitely put this on my wish list. Yeah, looks great. And also it's a fast-paced Death Stranding, as I heard. You're walking around with a child, and but you're actually getting into fights and stuff rather than delivering packages.
Dead Space Stranding.
But yes, I like a crazy sci-fi type story, so I'll be picking this one up, I think.
Okay.
And another one that's got a crazy style. So initially looking like one of those Zelda CDI games that came out, but a 3D version of it. Then just turning into quite a bonkers hack and slash shooter-y game also, is Romeo is a Dead Man, which a very silly name, a very silly style. Of course, it's come from Suda51 and Grasshopper Entertainment.
Like,
yes.
As soon as I saw it, like actually go into the gameplay stuff, I was like, "Oh, it's a Suda game then." Okay, fine. Like or a Grasshopper game.
We got
like,
there. Yeah, we started watching. It was like, why does this look like one of those bad Zelda games? And I think it was the point they had the device that was sticking in the eye just before it changes into this first person traveling through the bloodstream thing. I was like, that's Suda. That is Suda51. That has to be. And I was not disappointed. Yeah, I like Suda51. I like their madcap kind of style. It's got that feeling of was it Shadow of the Damned? It's got that feeling of Lollipop Chainsaw in the style of fighting, and then it's got that bizarre kind of I always forget the name. No More Heroes, the Wii game, all kind of mixed in, and you've got that. Yeah, it's got that sci-fi style. It's got the hack and slash, and then you've got the crazy side character that is done by your granddad talking to you through the design on the back of your jacket.
Like, absolutely crazy. That you can see that working well in a video game setting though, when you got like the character like facing you as the player as well. But yeah, like Suda51 loves a crazy character name as well. And I think was it Romeo Stargazer? He said this one was, or something like that.
But yeah, taking the title of Romeo Must Die and call it Romeo is a Dead Man.
Yeah.
Love that. And then one that I don't know, when they announced it, I wasn't so excited about, but after watching it, and I've been getting into my horrors a bit more lately. Silent Hill. Big
Silent Hill.
Yeah, big fan of the look of Silent Hill. This is one of the, if you remember, Konami went away for a while. They focused on their many other aspects of business outside of video games, and kind of went, we kicked Kojima to the curb. We carry on his game without him, and no one likes us anymore. Let's go away and work on pachinko and bottled water and gyms and what else we do in Japan. And then there was rumbling that they were taking a lot of their licenses and sending them out to different companies. I believe Bloober Team, they did the Resident Evil, Silent Hill 2 remake that came out last year. We've of course got the Metal Gear Delta, Snake Eater Delta coming out as well. And then this one, I forget which studio is behind this one, but Silent Hill F, which takes away from the traditional setting of the game, where it's like we go to Silent Hill, it's a Western American little slice of Americana that's just overrun by fog because of technical limitations, and just horrible monsters from inside your mind manifested, and there's a geezer with a pyramid on his head called Pyramid Head.
For reasons.
This one, takes a lot of inspiration from Japanese horror, which I'm a fan of. It reminded me of what I thought we were initially going to get from that Tokyo game. I forget which developer works on that as well, where it was all first person and
the Ghostwire Tokyo thing? Or?
Ghostwire Tokyo, thank you. Where I enjoyed that game, but it was very samey, I will admit, but it was a very good looking game. And you're going around using magic to fight yokais. Yokais. And this has that similar thing, but way more amped up in the horror department, just monstrous looking things.
Yeah, I wasn't interested in this. Like, I've never been a particular fan of Silent Hill, but this, like, the F seems to stand for, what the F, basically, because this is very spooky, very freaky, like the kind of broken bodied kind of marionette type things coming at you with knives and stuff. But yeah, like there's something that made this ramp up the level of scariness with the kind of the freakiness of the enemies coming at you, but also the fact that it is a Japanese schoolgirl in a Japanese school costume. Kind of, I don't know why, that kind of above a kind of brash kind of American bearded guy kind of thing, that seemed to kind of make it a bit more fearful for some reason. I don't know why, but like this looked scary.
It's
the
innocence
I did
and the
like the look of
vulnerability.
this. Sorry?
It's the innocence and vulnerability.
Yeah. I think that definitely plays into it. But yeah, like as you said, I wasn't particularly interested in it because having never really been that interested in Silent Hill. But this video made me go, well, actually, this looks like freaky and scary in an entertaining way that I might get on board with. Although it might freak me out a bit too much. I don't know, Coleman, I'm not sure. Like, you know me, I don't scare easily, but if I do, I get very scared. So we'll see.
Okay. Well, I mean, I'll tell you what, we'll play this, and if it gets too scary, I'll shout out to your wife to be that you spent so much money on playing cards, and then
I'll just get
even more than the game.
Yeah.
Then the game won't seem as scary. Moving on, so that's coming out 25th of September. I'm looking forward to it. There was Bloodstained: The Scarlet Engagement coming out next year. That did trick me. I thought it was Castlevania.
Yeah, I thought
Digimon,
so as well. But I think
Digimon Story.
On that one,
Digimon Story Time Stranger coming out on October the 3rd. We got a date for that now. I didn't realize that game was all about Digimon that have turned into humans, which there's a fanfic there somewhere.
I did wonder why there wasn't much signs of like Digimon thing. Anyway, yeah, that whole trailer like went round and round in circles and bored me a bit, but still.
It went on for so long, I thought. I'm sure that excites a lot of people. It does not excite me.
What about the digital world?
Final Fantasy Tactics. We're getting a remake of the Ivus Chronicles that is coming out on the 30th of September for PS5 and PS4.
A lot of people love that game. I've never played it.
Yeah, 1997. I didn't know obviously I know Final Fantasy goes that far back. I didn't know Tactics went that far back. I only really knew of it on like the handhelds, so PSP and Vita, PSP and 3DS, 2DS, whatever.
Yeah,
those kind of consoles. I didn't know how long this has been going, but it looks cool. I'm not a big tactic type person. Maybe this could be one for you, Tim, if you had it on a Steam Deck or a Nintendo Switch, because I'm sure it will come to those platforms as well.
Yes.
Baby Steps, something that I was kind of amused by initially the first time they showed it off, and then when they announced it and went, hey, we're going to have another look at Baby Steps, and this game is so funny, it almost made me throw up or wet myself or something along those lines. And then I was like, that was it. I was like, this is the comedy? This is not funny.
Yeah, it really wasn't funny.
I'm more amused by the idea of slightly quite out of shape nerd trying to walk around with baby legs. That's funny to me. That's the comedy there. Having two guys do what sounds like ad-libs badly.
About
do you need to wee? I'm going to watch you. You don't need me watching you. Okay, whatever. Maybe it's hilarious and it's a bad trailer. But coming out 8th of September.
Didn't put its best foot forward, eh, Coleman? See, now that's comedy.
There you go. Hiragami. I did like the look of this one.
Very
I'm
interesting.
A fan of origami. I'm a fan of platformers, and this one had both. So nice little platformer. You're not a big fan of platformers, Tim, but what did you think of this?
I liked the style and it looked creative and interesting in an interesting way. I will probably leave you to it, and if you absolutely love it, I might be more tempted to take a look. But I will.
That's fair enough.
Keep my powder dry for now. But yeah, it looks interesting.
I'm assuming it's not the frame rate of the video, but it seems to be doing that stop motion style of slowing the frame rate down on the characters rather than the world around you.
Yes, I think that's deliberate, no?
I think after South of Midnight, I'm over that effect. It was cool when they did it in Spider-Man. Now I'm like, yeah, right. I'd rather we had a smooth game rather than the frame rate trick. But Hiragami, it's coming out 3rd of September. Looks really nice. I took a wild guess and assumed you'd want to talk about Everybody's Golf Hot Shots.
Yeah, except for...
Which I don't have a video of.
Yeah, no, that's fine. But it's Everybody's Golf again. It's one of those things where they don't seem to have particularly evolved the graphical style. Like, maybe side by side you could see, this looks so much better than that. But, like, I don't know. It just... I don't understand why I would care about having a new version of Hot Shots Golf when I could probably just quite happily play an older version of Hot Shots Golf and spend a lot less money. Also, I'd be more excited if they were making a sequel to the VR game than the non-VR game. But then the stuff that they spoke up, it was like, the biggest roster of characters. I'm like, I literally don't care. I could be the same person every time and I wouldn't mind. And they're like, and pre-order and you can get Pac-Man. And I'm like...
Pac-Man, Tim.
Why?
The pack is back.
Why?
The pack is back, Tim.
I don't understand.
Do you not understand?
I don't get it. No.
He's back, Tim. But this time in golf form.
Yeah.
Pac-Man.
No. And I already thought we had a game called Hot Shots. If you'd have asked me, I would have said that was already a thing. But hey. But yeah, like, more Everybody's Golf is not to be sniffed at. I don't know. I haven't really played a golfing game for a few years now. I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I've just grown away from that genre, or that genre just hasn't really done anything interesting in recent years, or the fact that I can play like mini golf in VR means that I don't really want to do that.
You can play game as much. You can play as gigantic robots playing golf now in VR.
Well, yes.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, isn't it? Play as Voltron playing golf, or the Megazord. I think the Megazord's in one of those games.
Okay, that's good.
Tim. Everybody's Golf Hot Shots, 5th of September, 2025. A game I don't think you should sniff at is Ninja Gaiden Ragebound, because this looked awesome. This looks less
like... hard, though.
Well, yes. Ninja Gaiden games are very traditionally hard. I looked at this and went, this does not look like Ninja Gaiden. This looks like Strider.
Yes.
And I love Strider. And we've not had a Strider game since PS4. No, was it 3 or 4? It was 4, wasn't it? Launch of PS4. I'll quite happily take something along those lines. But yeah, this looks awesome. Very kind of SNES influenced retro style of hack and slash platformer. I am all for it.
Yes, although I'd be happy with the hardness of the hack and slashing. I'm not so sure I'd be happy with the hardness of the platforming. I really did like the look of it, though, so I might have to see if I gel with it or not.
Yeah, and I'm assuming it's mainly there to be an advertisement for the big game that's coming up for Ninja Gaiden as well this year, which is coming to Game Pass. So I wonder if this will end up coming to Game Pass. We will see.
Maybe.
I've lost a thing. 1 second.
Ken is the next game. Climbing
yes, I was looking for the footage. Sorry. Yeah, what did you think of this? Because I wasn't enamored with the visual style of the cutscenes, but the idea of doing this kind of
hardcore climbing sim.
Yeah, I don't know.
There's something
I'm into this.
Something I quite appeal about, but again, and I don't know if this is the whole VR thing. There have been quite a few like VR climbing games or games with climbing mechanics in them because they suit VR. And I've kind of got a bit over that now. Like, I don't really care for it. But at the same time, I think this game might be better as a VR, like a first-person VR game than a third-person non-VR game. But yeah, there's something intriguing about this. Like, if you told me, it's a hardcore climbing simulator and you've got to, like, wrap your bloody knuckles up at night and, like, like do stuff where you're in a tent and you've got to kind of keep on surviving and all that type of stuff. I don't think if you just described the game to me that I'd care for it. But I was intrigued enough that I think I'm going to download the demo and give it a go just to see what they're going with gameplay wise. I'm intrigued, but I don't know how interested I am. But I as I said, I think one of the things I thought was good about the presentation overall is there were a couple of demos that came out of this. This is one of them, and I was like, okay, yeah, I might give that a go just to see if I might like it.
Yeah, I had a bunch of demos already queued up to play for hopefully in time for next week, and then the state of play happened, and I got, oh damn it! Now I've got like 4 or 5 demos I need to get through. This I don't know how. I know you're a big fan of a fight pad. I am a fan of a fight stick, and I've been looking for a good one for the PS5 because I go in and out of fighting games, and when I do, I found that I'm pretty good with a stick. Project Defiant, the wireless stick from PlayStation 5. They're first in quite some time.
First party one for PS5.
A first party fighting stick for the PlayStation 5. Looks very nice. Looks very shiny. I like that. I like that PlayStation 5 aesthetic, as I've said so before. This is coming out next year. We don't know how much. I'm assuming it's close to £300, which would make me not want to buy a fight stick. They're usually quite pricey anyway. Yeah, if you want a good one. But
I hope they get it lower than that, because at that price, I'm definitely out.
I totally get why they've done this. Like PlayStation, they bought Evo just during or just after lockdown. I can't remember, but they own Evo. They have done work in getting previously third-party fighters to become almost like first-party. For instance, Street Fighter has become a PlayStation exclusive along with PC. And the Headline game, which we'll get to in a moment, another big-looking fighter game. So I can see that they want to get these games on the big stage. They want to use their... they've got their platform, they've got their system, they've got their fight sticks. It makes sense. There's a lot of stuff that they can sell to pros going forward. I'm assuming that you liked the look of Thief VR, possibly?
Yes and no. Like, I've never been a massive fan of the Thief series, and it does a few things that I'm wary of, having seen similar games that were fine but not great. I'm a bit skeptical, but possibly more so than I possibly should be. Like, I can see how the property would lend itself well to a VR game. Having said that.
Yeah, and the last time they tried to bring back the franchise, which was around about the PS4 launch, didn't go too well, didn't go down too well. I think a lot of people sort of saw it as a simplified version of Thief compared to its PC roots. VR, I think, is a good fit, especially, stealthy stuff, stabby stuff, steely stuff. The Assassin's Creed did very well on the Quest, Oculus Quest, I believe. So that's a good idea. Making the protagonist Philomena Kunk, very brave. I thought. No, it's not. It's just a northern woman.
I thought it was going to be. You can say it was the same actress or something, but okay, fine.
No, female protagonist. So this game is woke, Tim. It's coming to
it's coming nonsense, to
PSVR 2.
I'm on board.
Some point this year.
Yeah.
Tide of Tomorrow. That is coming out 24th of February.
That
very interesting. 4-player story game, which I'm not sure how that works. If you're,
I don't know how the structure of the game works, but it's intriguing enough to go. They're doing something different with multiplayer. I want to see exactly how that works. Like, I don't know if this was kind of one of the games that they had as like the kind of multiplayer lot that PlayStation launched all at once, and this was one of the ones that survived because it was a more interesting idea. But visually, it looked interesting. It looked kind of like Waterworld meets kind of a futuristic kind of marathon-esque take or whatever Marathon stole their artistic identity from. But like kind of mashup of that and Waterworld. But yeah, like I don't know, like I didn't get a full grasp of what their take on multiplayer was. Like it looked like you could follow the path of where other players had gone before, and looked like you could better their route or something somehow.
I got the impression, because I didn't know when they said multiplayer story, I thought it was going to be 4 people playing at the same time, unlocking bits of the story. But then the way I've heard it explained, which not from the developers, but just like secondhand information, is I thought the idea is when you're playing through the story, it kind of other people pick up where you left off. So I'll be interested to see how we go from
how
here.
that's
Yeah, I'll keep my eye on it. But that's 24th of February next year, so we're going to have some more information on this before the game comes out to take a look at. One that I was very excited, and for some reason I don't know why. I don't know if it was if this is Sea of Thieves' fault, if this is Skull and Bones' fault, but pirate games. We're getting more and more pirate games, and that's not a bad thing. I love pirate games.
I thought it was very odd
pirates.
that Tide of Tomorrow kind of started this section of like sea-based titles and games that they all ran together, which made me confuse all 3 of them a bit as well. But
very odd. But yeah, Sea of Remnants. This is coming out next year. Pirate game, turn-based action, RPG style, ship combat, sailing, just cool stuff. I was excited last week when they announced Davy and Jones, and then I saw this and I went, I don't care about Davy and Jones now. I care about this. This looks awesome. Yeah, very interesting video, I thought. Very cool. And then we went from Tide of Tomorrow, as you alluded, Tide of Tomorrow to Sea of Remnants to Sword of the Sea, which is less pirate themed, but this is from the studio that brings you such cool games as Journey, as Abzu, and many others.
Surfing on your sword in the sand, even though it says
so
sea.
we've seen this before. This is a more in-depth look at it. I like this idea of it. So you're surfing around on a sword-style hoverboard contraption, and then you see that it's in this very kind of journey-looking desert, and then as you progress, it's like, but you're underwater, but you're not underwater, and then you've got the Abzu element of all the sea creatures floating around you, and it looks very interesting. I wonder if this is going to be a single-player element, or if we're doing like a
single-player
element, or if there's going to be a more of that kind of mystery multiplayer that we got with Journey, where it just paired you with a random person you couldn't talk to each other. Because I liked that, and I'm surprised we don't see more of that with these, as Kev likes to call them, artsy-fartsy games. But I love this style of game, and I'll be interested to see more about it when it comes out on the 19th of August. We're going to get to the heavy hitters. We're going to get to the big headline games, Tim.
Big hitters at the end.
Well, Ghost of Yoti, Yasmin, Yamaha. Yotim. I would not class this in the headliners, and only because they went, here is a trailer to show off that we're going to do a state of play about Ghost of Yoti. And also their big reveal of there's a wolf companion kind of got ruined by Astrobot, because they went.
Yeah, I was going to say we already knew about the wolf companion. No, I think they'd already mentioned that.
Oh, did they? I didn't know if they mentioned it already.
Yeah,
but it's like, hey, there's a wolf, but we just saw it in Astrobot, so that was
it's fine. That had already been mentioned, I believe.
Okay.
But yeah, it was just basically her saying to the wolf, "Oh, you're still with me," and then you saw the wolf, and then you saw the wolf's teeth, and then it was like, "Oh yeah," and we're not giving any more details than that until July. Was it? Okay.
Yeah, but we get a full gameplay breakdown when we do the next state of play.
Yeah. So that's good.
Yeah,
and we've got another state of play coming in July, so it's not too long to wait. Although I guess that's going to be entirely around Ghost of Yoti, but.
Yes, it is. I think we're waiting for Summer Games Fest for more information on the next one, but we've got our first look at 007 First Light. This is the James Bond reboot style game from IO Interactive, the guys behind Hitman, and we only saw cutscenes, basically. We're waiting for gameplay footage in Summer Game Fest, but from what they did show, apart from Lenny James from Walking Dead fame and Snatch, who looks a lot like my ex's dad, who terrifies me, and other than that, we saw a lot of locations that looked like they were pulled straight out of Hitman, like the nightclub scene. So I'll be interested to see how this game plays. I hope it's not just Hitman James Bond. I
kind of hope it is Hitman James Bond. Like, that sounds like a good formula by itself. The one thing they showed off that, they hinted at in the cutscenes that I think we'll see in gameplay is it looked like they're going to be car chases, which is not something you particularly saw in Hitman.
No.
So that could be quite cool.
Also, yeah, I don't know. The idea of like the brash young James Bond before he's the spy. He's basically Jason Bourne.
Earning his 007 status, as they put it, basically, which, I like that approach, I think.
I mean, we did this before. It was called James Bond Jr., and it was rubbish, but hopefully this does a lot better. Yeah, I'm intrigued. I know a lot of people like Hitman. I've tried Hitman. I go back and forth on Hitman. I am really bad at Hitman. And I would like to play I don't know.
It's the type of game that relies on trial and error, and I'm guessing that this is going to be a bit more kind of straightforward and linear, and like a bit more like someone compared it to like Hitman Uncharted, and I think it's going to be a bit more of a cinematic like playthrough third-person shooter than Hitman has been. Hitman's more of a kind of open playground, and I expect this to be a bit more directed. And as I said, that those car chase things would play into that as well. There's two things that put me off it a little bit, but they're smaller considerations. I think facially he looked a bit odd. Like, even as a young James Bond, there's something that didn't quite sit right with the presentation of the character in some ways. And I'm not sure I'm sold on the name First Light. It doesn't sound like a Bond property, basically. But those things aside, they seem to be capturing the essence of a Bond film. Like the fight with the fireworks very much reminded me of that. The car chase. Like, if they get those elements and capture those elements well, and they seem to be doing that from this presentation, I think I am fully on board with it and will forgive the name and the character's face as long as the gameplay lives up to what I expect it to be from what they showed here.
It's odd to me because, they face captured Lenny James, and it doesn't look uncanny valley at all. It looks like Lenny James.
Right. Yeah.
I'm wondering if the James Bond is like a facial creation. Maybe they should have gone for like a young actor, then scanned them in rather than this creation. Which is probably why he looks out of place compared to a lot of the other characters, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I remain hopeful. We will see when we see more of this game.
I trust IO to make a good game as well. Like, they are good developers.
I'm sure it'll be good. I just don't know if it will be for me. That's all.
That's fine.
I know not every game is for me, and I shouldn't feel entitled, but I would like to play a Bond game. A good Bond game. Yeah.
It is good.
The headline. A lot of people were put off by this. I was not. I thought this looked absolutely fantastic. This is a nice surprise Marvel, too. Yes, Marvel Token Fighting Souls. If you were to make me guess what was going to be the headline game, I would not have thought it was this.
No.
So this is the guys behind Guilty Gear. It is a very Japanese-inspired, and from a Japanese studio, Marvel fighting game, which I really like the look of. And as they pointed out in the video as well, because they did a developer deep dive thing afterwards, just explaining why we have a part Marvel, part Arc, part PlayStation owned property put together video game, and how it all came together, which I liked. But they point out, hey, we've got an Iron Man who's meant to be all sleek and stuff, but he's got that anime influence with the decals on the character, which I like the look of. Looks really, really good. It looks very fast. It's a 4v4 fighter. The idea being either you can tag in your different fighters, or you can just sort of mainline your one character and use the others as tags.
Yeah.
played many a game like these. I suck at all of them, but maybe with my super expensive PlayStation fight stick, I'll be much better with this game.
Go pro, Colin.
Yeah.
My only reservation of this, when they originally showed it, I was like, why are Arc Systems making the latest version of Marvel vs. Capcom? That seems weird. But then, will this feel like Marvel vs. Capcom minus Capcom? Because they seem to have gone with the tag battle kind of system, and that just entirely reminds me of Marvel vs. Capcom, which is possibly making a cross for them to bear that they didn't necessarily need to. In a way, I think it might have been a better option to go for just a one-on-one fighting game. But I like this style of game. I think I like Guilty. I haven't played Guilty Gear that much or that deeply, but I appreciate that they are good, well-made fighting games. I think to a greater degree than you do, possibly. So I am keen to see where it goes, and I think actually having a Japanese themed take on this is actually more interesting. And that seemed to be, in summary, and this is a good game to kind of talk about, that seemed to be an approach that Sony had pivoted to in the last few presentations like these, and in general from their gaming approach. They seem to be going a bit more Japan focused than they have in previous generations, and kind of leveraging the differences that they can get by pairing with Japanese developers and really kind of bringing that to the forefront. And you saw that a bit with the lineup of games. I do think it's weird that they seem to have taken this game away from Capcom, who are already a large, big Japanese developer that famously make big fighting games. I mean, Arc Systems are, a big company to themselves. But yeah, it's a bit odd that that's going down that route.
As we know, Marvel vs. Capcom was initially meant to be a Resident Evil game that spun off into its own thing, Tim. So that's probably why. No, I like the idea. Also, what I really like about this idea is going, okay, because Marvel's got a few games out, and for a while, a lot of them have been very mobile from a lot of Chinese companies. Rivals just came out. Well, not just. It came out last year. That's from a Chinese company. I like the idea of spreading out to different studios to... I know EA's working on they're still working on 3 Marvel games.
They canned their Black Panther game, but...
But I like this. We get the Western Marvel game, the Japanese Marvel game, the Chinese Marvel game. I like the idea of spreading out to not just different studios, but different studios around the world to get that. And each time not going, okay, you have to follow this kind of blueprint to how Marvel characters need to look.
Yeah.
Take your local influence. Take things from anime. Take things from Chinese gacha games and things, and then kind of mix it all up and let's see what we come up with, because it looks great. One of my favorite things as a kid was I had a collection of X-Men manga comics, which I just thought were the most insane things in the world. And I love that kind of exists still to this day through other projects like this. So yeah, it looks great.
It's going to be interesting to see where it goes. But it does seem to be that Sony is leveraging its partnership with Marvel to make, big games kind of loosely under their umbrella of being Sony exclusives and stuff like that. But I think it might be what you said about Evo and fighting games that made them possibly step away from Capcom and go this, because they want a nearer first-party fighting game that they have a bit more control over, possibly. That's possibly the reason why we're seeing them go down this route.
But also, Capcom have Street Fighter. They're still adding to Street Fighter. It's still a headline at Evo, so it makes sense to then partner with another massive heavy hitter in the fighting game community and solidifying that game for your platform rather than sticking it on Xbox as well. So totally makes sense in the kind of model that they're going for. Now, I've seen a lot of people, kind of badmouth this Sony State of Play as being a bad one. I don't think there is ever a bad stream. I think with these kind of things, there's got to be, with the amount of stuff that gets announced, there's got to be something for somebody. There's things that we didn't even talk about that I like the look of, but we just wanted to go for the more newer, more exciting, punchier things that we can slap on a cover on this here podcast. We didn't mention
Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection, which I'm really excited about. I really like the people that made the previous ones, and doing a Mortal Kombat game is quite cool as well. That's
even includes the really bad Game Boy port. So that's That's funny.
I played that back
I
in the day. I loved it at the time. So
I thought it was a great show. I really
Yeah.
enjoyed it. Found it easy to follow along with and talk about. So yeah, good time. I enjoyed this. I know the problem is the hype makes you stupid, as I've been hearing. You know, if you're going to go in and expect like all these massive heavy hitters, like this isn't an E3 presentation from 2017. This is Sony State of Play. You got to bring your expectations down a bit.
I think my opinion was definitely well coloured, and in terms of like this was possibly made for me. The start and the beginning of this were two really nice surprises that spoke to me particularly, and were like two of my favourite genres. Like with really good, nice surprises of games I wasn't expecting. The only slight problem is that some of the bigger games in this were 2026, which was a bit of a disappointment. But overall, I thought it was a really good presentation and hit particularly some nice high points for me, basically. But yeah.
There are a lot of games coming out in September now. I think now the coast is clear with GTA going to 2026. That a lot of people going, okay, we should start getting all our games out. We're safe, guys. It's fine. But yeah, I like the look. There's a lot of games in this that I really liked the look of, and you know, ending up with the Marvel, I just did not see that coming at all. Marvel took on Fighting Souls.
Nice surprise.
Yeah, really enjoyed it. We got to get at least one headline out the way. It's been talk of the town all week. Did you see anything from Unreal, Epic's State of Unreal 2025?
Do you mean the new Witcher game?
No, Tim, it's not the new Witcher game. No, it's a Witcher 4 Unreal 5 tech demo set in the Witcher 4 universe. So this is...
Sounds a lot like a new Witcher game to me, Coleman.
It's a vertical slice of what they're aiming to achieve with The Witcher. They did this with The Witcher 3, if you remember, when they showed the tech stuff off The Witcher 3 compared to how it looked. And the release looked a lot better than the tech demo, I thought, but there were features that they couldn't replicate from the demo to the main game. This
vertical
is kind of
slice is marketing speak for lies.
Yes,
damn lies, Coleman.
But according to CD Projekt, and this, CD Projekt, traditionally, they have their own engine that they use for Witcher, for Cyberpunk, other titles. And they announced when, I can't remember if they announced it first for Witcher or for Cyberpunk 2, that they were moving to Unreal. And it seems part of this partnership is, okay, we're going to use your games to sell our engine to other people. And that's exactly what they're doing here. So this is a tech demo. They've made an Unreal 5, apparently working on a base PS5, shows off ray tracing. They were showing off. We've only got footage of the actual the gameplay demo and the cutscene demo, but when they went through in more depth, they were showing like a Siri riding around on a horse and then stopping and stripping like the skin from the horse and watching like how the muscle textures pull and contract and stuff that they on Rockstar's side, they were doing this stuff with Red Dead Redemption 2 and are now using it in human forms in GTA 5. So it's interesting to see that's still being used. That's being used in other places as well. And they were showing like how foliage works and how lumens work. And it's all to show how Unreal Engine works rather than to hype up the game. But hype up it did.
Yeah.
It's got a lot of people excited for this game. But we're a couple of years
probably
away.
good to get it out ahead of the new TV series because it doesn't sound like that's going to go well. But
I liked the look of the tech demo, but you have to curb your expectations. If you remember when before PS5 came out, they did a tech demo to show off Unreal Engine 5, and it was showing a female protagonist, and it was like crawling through rocks and fighting and flying and doing cool stuff. And we were, wow, this looks amazing on a PS5. I can't wait for the. And then nothing can really hit that level because it's a very small demo put together. Yeah. Then we had the Matrix stuff that was weird, but enjoyable for a day. I keep trying to go back to Witcher 3 in preparation for Witcher 4, which I've got 2 years in fairness, but I've picked it up and put it down so many times over the last like 5 years. I don't know.
I've just come to terms with the fact that I'm not going to go and finish that game as much as I liked the start of 3.
Interesting tech, though. I found this last year when they were doing all the stuff with Fortnite and trying to expand it from a game into a platform to make other games and put more experiences and stuff in. And, we've had like that kind of Guitar Hero clone and the Lego stuff. And they've announced that Disney Island World thing experience. And all that stuff's interesting, but I was more interested going through like how they were showing how Lumens work with the new updates to Fortnite. I was like, that is pretty cool. It's gone from bloom lighting, like disorientating the player when you're coming out of like a cave into the open world, which you don't need in a multiplayer shooter game because your vision's impaired and you get taken out. So it was explaining how things reactively work like that, and I found that all interesting last time. So it's interesting to find this stuff for mere plebs of video game players rather than developers like ourselves. So that was interesting. Yeah, that is all the news we're going to go through. There were some teasers and things that we were going to go through as well, but we're just way over time today.
Yeah.
I had a plan, and then State of Play, PlayStation 2 days before went, by the way, we're doing one of those.
And it's going to be out of date fairly soon because Summer Games Fest is going to smack us around the face and give us a load of other stuff to talk about next week as well. So, yeah.
Yeah. Good week.
Any predictions for that?
Summer Games Fest. I think we're going to see gameplay footage of 007 First Light. That's going to be good. I think we're going to get a State of Play for Ghost of Yokai, whatever it's called.
Okay.
That
won't be in Summer Games
I don't know,
Fest,
Tim.
though. I think there's going to be an overly long section of Death Stranding 2 and a lot of backslapping between the two of them. Jeff Keighley go, "Oh, I love you," and him go, "Oh, I love you, Jeff. Thank you." And and some music that we don't care about.
Tim, I'm going to tell you now. I was going to tell you off mic, but I've booked my holiday for the end of the month where I'm going to go away to another country. Yep. And during that time, I did not plan this well. Death Stranding 2 comes out.
Oh, Coleman, what have you done to yourself?
I very sneakily extended my holiday when I get back so I can play that before the following show. So
okay, just
be warned.
Good.
Okay. Let's get to wrapping the show up as we tend to do. So, off mic, is the store still a thing? Are we doing the store?
I haven't had time this week, so new store coming soon. Kind of.
But for now, tpublic.com/stores/BRB. Check it out. Go there, buy merch. They've got Dan's face on it. He loves pointing that out. tpublic.com/stores/BRB. Keep a lookout. They usually do discounts in very weird times that we're never ready for, and then we advertise them on the show, and then they expire.
That too will change soon. More news coming on that soon.
More news coming soon. Go get the Tabletop Tuesday shirt. The Taiji one. It's a very good shirt. Speaking of Tabletop Tuesday, Tim.
Yes.
Tuesday is a Tuesday.
Tuesday is a Tuesday, Coleman. And each and every Tuesday, we do an event called Tabletop Tuesday at the Loading Bar in Stoke, Newington. What is a Tabletop Tuesday, I hear you ask? Well, it's a Tuesday. And it's a day when we have tabletops and we put games on them. And the game that we put on each and every week is a different feature game. And if you play that feature game that evening, you can win a copy of the game at the end of the evening. This week's feature game is a real doozy. It is a cult classic or a general modern classic that we haven't had at Tabletop Tuesday before. It's one that's been missing from our games library.
Tower of Doom?
No, it's much better than that, Coleman. And it will make for an awesome prize. It's a nice big game. It's a really good one that we haven't had before, and that is Castles of Burgundy.
Oh my God! What's that?
You know nothing about it, Duke. And before you say no, not Ron Burgundy, not Stay Classy Castles of San Diego.
Curse you and your knowledge of 2005 comedies.
It is Castles of Burgundy. It's a really good game. As I said, if you haven't played it before, it's definitely worth coming along and trying out at Tabletop Tuesday in Stoke Newington. If you come try it out, you can win a copy just by playing it that evening. There are more details on the top right-hand side, top right-ish of BigRedBarrel.com, or you can join the over 2,200 people in our meetup group. Search for Tabletop Tuesdays on meetup.com, or just come along to Tabletop Tuesday at the Loading Bar in Stoke Newington this here Tuesday.
Cool. Tabletop Tuesday. Get there on Tuesday for Ron Burgundy, whatever Tim said. Did you ever play Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles, The Tower of Doom, Tim?
I don't think I did.
I was thinking about that all the time you were talking about your tactical game. It's a tabletop game where you had... now, let me know if this sounds familiar at all.
Right.
You have a base, you have a cardboard tower
it's all
with
about
little
the base.
holes in it, and then you have lots of katanas that you have inside the tower,
Yeah.
and then you have turtles, a splinter, and a shredder, and they all have little ball bearings in the middle of them so they can roll.
Little
and then
balls.
you put them inside, and then you take away the sword, and then depending on what one falls down, you get different points. They made a Turtles version of Kaplunk in the 90s, and I used to play it a lot as a kid.
Poor deprived child. You could have been playing good stuff.
Kaplunk, baby. If you've enjoyed this show, you got weird taste, but we love you all the same, make sure to go to bigredbarrel.com. That's the website that we come from, bigredbarrel.com. It's big, it's red, it's got barrels, it's got .coms. Go there, listen to podcasts, check out footage, features, things, bigredbarrel.com. Also, links to our social medias can be found there, including Discord. Go to the Discord, talk to us in the Discord, ask us questions. No time for questions, Dr. Jones. We've got to get out of here, so we're going to do this another time. Hold on to your potatoes. We're out of here. Tim?
Yep.
Guess what?
What?
This has been BRB UK episode 639.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully next week we're back with a full team. We'll see how that goes. No
Say
promises.
That a lot, Coleman. Don't make promises we can't deliver on.
But what was I saying? For this week, I have been Coleman.
I might have been Tim.
And Dan's been a state of play. Dan's been Wolverine at the Sony State of Play. Absent.
Yes, absent.
Yes.
Without claws.
Mm-hmm. Until next time, dear listeners, dear viewers, thank you for watching. A good bye. I lost the button.
James Bond Jr. Look out, he's coming through. He's got a job to do while he rescues the girl. James Bond Jr. chases scum around the world.
You and your ears are quite welcome for the podcasting goodness that you just heard. Why not roll on over to bigredbarrel.com for more podcasts, news, reviews, and videos from the biggest, reddest site on the internet, bigredbarrel.com.
That they're refocusing on their core franchises, including Battlefield, The Sims, Skate, Apex Legends.
No, not The Sims. Jesus Christ, the world does not need more Sims. No.
Get ready for that Sims live service, whatever sequel they're doing.